Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles coming at you with another toy review. This time we're taking a look at the Star Wars The Power of the Force R5-D4 with concealed photon missile launcher from the Power of the Force 2 line from 1996. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at the figure. Alright, so taking a look at R5-D4, it's not one of my favorite figures in this toy line. I actually feel he's kind of cheaply done, and it's just basically with his mechanism, but I'll kind of go over his features. So obviously, you know, he's a droid, so that was, you know, one of the big draws to him. I mean, we really only had R2-D2 and C-3PO at this point, so getting an extra droid, you can really, you know, kind of set up your scenes, and, you know, kids can have extra stuff to play with. And you know, he's got like machine guns on his legs, which obviously he didn't have in the movie, and he has attached legs, not like R2-D2. So I mean, this piece is attached, so when he moves, it's all attached. So it gives him less articulation, and then he has this feature where he actually opens up, and this is where it's kind of cheap. So he's basically, he just flops open, and then there's little holes right here that actually clip into the other side of the pegs, and they don't really ever clip real good. Sometimes you'll touch them, they'll just fall open, and it's kind of just a cheaply done thing. And the figure feels cheap, and that's never a good thing, where he feels hollow and cheap. Now obviously he's not hollow, and they did a good job overcompensating for, you know, the feature of this guy. They could have really been cheap, but they did a good job like painting silver in here and really giving this guy some good detail with the yellow and black. I mean, they did a great job as far as, you know, painting the inside. They could have just went, you know, all white or just painted it all black, and they chose not to do that, and I really, you know, commend them for that. Now he has a button that would basically launch the missile. On this guy, it is a flat button. What they did is they actually changed this to have a little L shape on it. That way you couldn't push the button all the way in. So this is actually one of the first editions of this guy, because they realized that if you push this in too hard, this button could actually get stuck. I don't expect his missile to fly very far because of how old this toy is and it's been in storage, but basically you push the button and the missile would shoot out. He has photon missile. And that's basically the features to him. I mean, there's really not much to him. There really wasn't much to this character, and you know, that's where they kind of had to embellish his stuff and give him some guns, and it's really not really needed. I mean, they probably could have just given you a droid, just like R2-D2 has almost no features other than light piping, and he's still a really neat figure. And here we have R5-D4 next to R2-D2, and you can definitely see that R5 is bigger than R2, but R2 feels heavier. I mean, it's just with the way this figure is, and obviously he's got some space in there where his leg drops out, but he overall feels heavier than this guy, and it's really weird. Like he's very light. And it's also the white plastic, the way they did this texturing, it doesn't look as good as the R2 white, how it's nice and clear and clean and crisp. I mean, there's just something about it that it's kind of cheaply done. I mean, they did the Sand Trooper where they kind of roughed him up, but this is a little different. This doesn't even have like the Stormtrooper at least had kind of a little bit of shine to him, and he's more dull. But this just gives you an overall size comparison. So R2 is definitely smaller, but you wouldn't know that if you actually felt them, because the R2 feels more solid. R5 is a great figure. I mean, you know, with these toy lines, you know, they started making every single character, and this is just one of the other characters that was in the movie for a super short period of time, but they decided to give it its own figure and give it some embellishments to kind of make kids want him. And I really don't think it worked with this figure. He's not my favorite. His action's kind of cheap, and he doesn't clip together all the time. sometimes it'll just fall open, and that's kind of unfortunate. But once again, this has been Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.